Having a bit of a conundrum. Should I buy another PenBBS pen? Oh wait, no, too late. I already did. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Steven Inks, and today we are going to talk about a pen, a fountain pen that I will use for drawing today, and that fountain pen is the PenBBS 499. This pen cost me a bit more than $4.99, if you know what I mean, but still worth every penny. I can't wait to tell you in detail the parts, the features of this pen, how it works, and use it to do some art for you. I can't wait to get started, so let's start right now. So, PenBBS in the typical PenBBS box. Nothing new here. And as always, a nice box. As you can see, inside, this is the PenBBS 499. Yeah, sometimes I gotta check the number too. But yeah, let's have a look at it. Throw away the little sleeve, and wow. Holding it in my hand, I can feel this matte texture. I love a good matte texture. And nice little shiny portions on the bottom. And the finial, it's a real finial with a little P, and it looks like maybe like a lotus flower design. Super cool. No surprises on this clip. If I lift it up, that's where you see the special stuff. PenBBS, typically we have, bump my camera, resin pens, but this one is brass. And it has a nice little swirly design in the section. A little bit of texture. I feel like that's not going to be terribly difficult to hold over a long period of time. Right there. All right, and this feels comfortable. It reminds me of the Cerakote finish on my Keras Starliner XL, which is a texture that I like. So it's a little bit finer grained texture. This isn't a bad thing, but it kind of reminds me of a chalkboard. I know that sounds like a horrible texture, but it works. Yeah, and if I take it apart, we've got, this is a cartridge converter pen, and a typical PenBBS cartridge. Converter. I keep doing that. Nothing to complain about, nothing special to see. It's just, it is what it is. There we go. And if I were to remove the section here and look at the nib unit, there we go. We got our nib unit. And this is a fine, which is what they typically, the base nib unit that gets shipped. And PenBBS sells different units as well. So yeah, this is the pen. Let's put it back together and we'll fill it up. Make some art. There was never any way we were going to go with anything but a black for this pen. So I've got my Noodlers black. It's a nice ink. I've used way more than half of it. So I might have to do a little bit of negotiating with this bottle in order to get it to fill. But let's see how deep it goes in. Yeah, just under the surface there. So we're going to have to tilt it slightly and see if I can do this in a way that's slightly paying attention to the fact that people are watching this on a camera. But twisting the piston. Did we get some ink? We did indeed. Let's see if we can get a little bit more with the second fill. Yeah, that's better. All right. Let's see how well this metal cleans off. This is really brass. It should clean pretty nicely. And yeah, I think it does. There you go, pretty good fill. Excited to play with this pen. We're going to do some test lines out with this pen. First of all, I didn't mention this when I looked at the body, but I don't know about posting with this pen. It posts kind of shallow, and it feels like I could push it and so it would squeeze in deeper, but I'm getting a little bit, I'm worried that that might actually damage the connection of the metal onto the snap portion of the pen. So I kind of don't want to post it. I don't know if it posts, and I think it's comfortable just like this. So I'm not going to post the pen, and I'm not sure the post isn't super secure as far as what I'm comfortable with. So just let that be what it is, and we're gonna draw some lines out here. First thing I'm noticing is that I got a no surprises, just what I expect, and that's a good thing from these nibs from PenBBS. They do what I asked them to do. I can push a little bit and get some darker lines, as you can see, but the typical light line weight of these pens is actually what I'm looking for. There are ways, and it does say on the website, or I believe it's the Etsy site, how you can make these tines open up a little bit by pushing with kind of a medium pressure on the paper. Some people like to do that, and you know, to each their own. But I like this exactly how it is. Let's do some 3D shapes here. I think even in my most recent PenBBS video, or could have been a few videos back, I was mentioning how I wasn't going to buy any more PenBBS pens because the result of these pens is that they just do whatever it is they're supposed to do without any problems. But that's, you know, and the fact that I don't need to own a bunch of them, but if you're being honest, you don't really need to own more than, I don't know, maybe 2. I could justify someone saying, oh, if you're a fountain pen person, you need to own half a dozen pens, like 6. I don't know. What's the minimum number for you? I could see that being the case, but let's be honest, nobody here is collecting fountain pens because we're looking for the minimum amount of pens we can own. I think a lot of the people that are watching this video, and certainly myself, are pretty committed to the habit of collecting pens. So this is a really fun company to just get all of their variants. Every time they try something new, I always wonder, oh, what would it be like if I had the exact same experience, but just in a slightly different container, or a container that I already own, but is a slightly different color. You know how it is. You have the same illness that I do. If you're here watching this video, watching some idiot on the internet talking about pens and drawing with his pens. So yeah, this is what I typically do when I'm trying to figure out if a pen can keep up with me. I try to do some fast lines here. I do some general hatching. And yeah, I'm finding that the feed and the nib keep up. The left-handed writer will love the PenBBS Waverly grind. I'm a left-handed person, as you can clearly see, and there's something about this grind that's supposed to really appeal to left-handed people, and I gotta say, that little marketing gimmick has worked on me. I'm a big fan, and I find this grind to be super comfortable, and the metal on this nib, see if I can get it to focus, is soft enough that the tines will open up just slightly without really damaging the pen, and you can get, like I said, you can get darker lines. Let me get a few darker lines here. So it's a very forgiving pen. It's a pen that's here to do a job. I feel like this is not a fancy pen that you have to tiptoe around. It does not price like a pen that you have to tiptoe around either. That's another thing I like about PenBBS. Pretty reasonable price for a pen that is worthy of geeking out about. Like all you pen nerds out there, There's quite a few of us who have a thing for PenBBS, and there's no secret as to why that is. They're nice pens. They do what they are supposed to do, and sometimes they do a little more than what they're supposed to do, and they look pretty while they're doing it. And here we go. How about we focus on a little bit of art advice? So this is more of a question. What is success? A question I've been asking myself a lot lately as I think through my journey as an artist, how I got to be this person that I am, making videos on YouTube, but not, really spending a lot of time making commercial art. I'm just sort of this video personality. A lot of people find my artwork because they're just looking to see if a pen is good to buy. But then we end up having a little chat about art and about life, versus being a traditional artist, which is something that I dreamed about when I was younger. I wonder if the young me would look at what the old me is doing and say, hey, we're doing pretty good. Or if they would see me as a failure for not being a full-time artist. And I think the question of, are you successful, has a lot to do with you and what you intended to do. For myself, I learned a while ago that not only is it probably unrealistic for me to pursue a full-time career in art, I don't think that's even what I want anymore. So for me, success is when I can make something that I love and send it out into the world and more people can see it and love it. That is a part of it for me. I think there are some people who create art and it doesn't have to go anywhere. But for me, I think I decide what I decide is successful. And what I like is that I can put art out into the world, and people can see it and enjoy it and appreciate it, and that's successful enough for me. Anyway, I hope you have answered that question as well. Let's do a drawing. So this drawing is inspired by my real life adventures with my wife at the shopping mall. We were in one of those fancy clothing places, which someone my age has no business being in, but sometimes you just need a t-shirt or a pair of jeans or something, and they insist upon selling jeans and t-shirts in places that also include fashion, which I have no understanding of or connection to or desire to become fashionable. But while I was there, I saw this hat. And this hat had a picture of a duck on it. It was a very silly picture of a duck, and it was a very serious hat for such a silly picture. And I thought to myself, who on earth would want a serious hat with a silly picture of a silly duck on it? And right when I said that, I saw a person who, in my opinion, is the exact kind of person that would want a serious hat with a silly duck on it. He did not buy the hat, by the way, but he was just there, and I just studied every detail of this person, and I imagined, what would it be like if this person were to buy this silly, silly duck on a very serious person hat? And so this is that drawing. I hope you like it. I have no complaint at all about the PenBBS 499. It keeps up really well. It's fun to hold. It didn't get too warm in my hands. It wasn't slippery or slick at all. The section has a really nice grip to it no matter what the temperature are, and I have pretty hot hands, so I felt like that accomplished its purpose pretty well. wondering what you guys think of this slow down, speed up style to my videos. I kind of like it in that my new camera shoots the stop motion a little bit faster than I want it to. So I wanted to kind of do a back and forth where you can see how fast I actually draw compared to what these time lapses end up looking like. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed my picture of a guy with a duck on his hat. And I hope you like my hat because, as I mentioned before, there is a duck on it. All right, that's all I got to say. Final thoughts. This is definitely a unique pen for PenBBS. If you are used to and you really enjoy resin pens, maybe this is not for you. For me, I really like the brass section with that texture is really nice. It feels good. This matte finish, I'm trying to figure out what I could compare it to. It does feel a little bit like my Karas Cerakote XL Starliner. Although that's not a very common pen, so I'm not sure if anyone could compare it to that. But if you have a guitar that has a satin finish or a matte finish, you kind of get the idea of what sort of finish we're talking about here. I really like matte finishes. If you're super into slick and shiny finishes, then I suppose, again, this might be a pass for you. But I love that I can't put fingerprints on this. It looks nice anywhere I hold it. The pen has a solid construction. Can't say nothing about those PenBBS feeds and nibs. They seem to work consistently very well. I'll say this, there is a PenBBS pen that I do not like, but it is definitely not this pen. We'll see that other pen coming up in the future. But for this, I guess that's all that I have to say, except thank you so much for all your attention, liking, subscribing, sending me a comment below, telling me what you think I should review next or what you thought of the review. Please continue to do that. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next one.